It is the KJ Today Show, and we are live at the Indy Fuel game, and we are so excited. It's DC Comics and Hockey Fights Cancer Night, and look who is here.
Hey there.
Drew Powell, who not only has the big DC connection with Gotham,
Yes.
but you're home. Welcome home, man.
Thank you. Good to be back, as always.
Yeah. So you are based in LA?
That's correct.
Right?
Yep.
And everything's okay? You just had the earthquake?
Yes, absolutely. I got on the way over here, I got a FaceTime from my wife saying, we just had a 4.7 earthquake, and she was in Staples. So I'm like, get out of Staples.
Yeah.
You know, there's too many things that can fall on you. But I think everything's okay now. Yeah.
Okay, good. So let's talk first about your hometown and your connection. You grew up in Noblesville?
In Lebanon. Well, I was born in Noblesville, but raised in Lebanon, and now my folks live in Noblesville again. So kind of been back and forth over my life. But yeah, grew up in Lebanon, went to Lebanon High School, then went to DePaul University in Greencastle, Indiana.
Oh, yes.
And so, graduated from DePaul, and 2 weeks later, filled up my Honda Accord and headed west, and the rest is history. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. But what's cool is we've lived in New York, we've lived in Australia, we've lived all over. I was in London working for a while, and it just really makes me appreciate here. And I love all those places, but I've found that this is a great place to come back to, a good touchstone to come back and kind of feel my roots, if you will.
Well, and I follow you on social media, so I know you love the Indy 500.
Oh, sure. Yep.
You're gonna be here for the NBA All-Star Game stuff, or are you just helping promote it?
I was hoping to, but now this movie I've got coming out premieres in New York that weekend, so I got to go to New York instead. But that's a good reason.
Is that Ordinary Angels?
Yes.
I'm so excited.
So it's such a good film, and Hilary Swank is the lead. She's great, and Alan Ritchson, who plays Jack Reacher, he's in it. He's really good, and it's a true story about a family in Louisville, just down the road, it's just bring a box of tissues.
Okay.
But it's in the best possible way. It's just heartwarming and really inspirational. Like, it tied in a lot to this event about a chance to help give back, and help folks that are in need. And that's what this movie is about. It's about a little girl who mom dies of cancer. She's needs a liver transplant, and it's about people ordinary angels that kind of come to their rescue. And so that's why doing stuff like this is just such a bonus to this crazy job I have.
Yeah, when you found out that there was this DC Comics and Hockey Fights Cancer Night all together, I mean, it had to just be like
Absolutely. Say less, as the kids say. I was like, when do you need me? And the Fuel have been so great from the jump, and just really well-run organization, and it's been fun to get to piggyback on top of this. And, I didn't know when I got the job, Gotham, exactly how much it was going to change my life, like exactly how the comic book world, was going to envelop me. And it's been a real pleasure. I've learned a lot, and I've done a lot of homework because I want to be legit. They'll spot you when you're faking.
Yes, they will.
But it's been a real fun extra bonus to this job, and this is a prime example of the stuff that I love to get to do.
Were you a Batman fan, comics fan at all before you?
Well, only in as much as like whatever was on USA Network, like on the Super Friends, or I watched the movies, of course. But then when I got this job, that's when it was like, okay, I got to come correct. I got to do my homework. And then I started to really appreciate it, and I really started to see the nuance, and because I grew up in the 80s, 90s where it was still kind of on the fringes, and then it's like, okay, now we're coming into the mainstream, and especially playing Grundy, this character from the 40s, like that's a lot of history for any character, no matter what story you're telling. So that's been a real a joy to get to kind of do my homework on that. I remember DC sent me this huge box after we found out I was going to be Grundy, and my son, who was about 7 at the time, we were in New York, and we opened this box, and it was like Christmas Day. It was comics, and it was video games, and it was figurines, and it was just all this fun stuff. And so it was like the world's greatest homework to get to dive into this stuff.
Well, and to get to do that with your son. Is he a fan now?
Yeah, he is. He digs it. He's a fan of everything, and he's a big sports fan. I wish he could have come out with me today because he would have loved this. But yeah. I tell you what, we talk about Ordinary Angels. That was my I've been to a few LA Kings games, but I went to a Winnipeg Jets game. So a hockey game in Canada with some very intense fans, and I had to walk through, no joke, a blizzard to get there. So it was the most Canadian thing ever, really. And it was good because the movie's about a blizzard, so it worked out really well. But so I really have been hooked by hockey, so I'm excited to see these guys go at it today.
Oh, it's so much fun. And my husband, who's behind the camera here,
Yes.
we were here for the very first Fuel game.
Really?
He grew up a Blackhawks fan.
Yes.
And we started dating, and he brought me into the hockey world.
Sucked in.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we've loved it ever since. So
That's
it's kind of the same way that you are when the Indy Fuel reaches out and says, hey, do you want to do something like this? I'm
Absolutely.
Like,
and I've got my mom and dad here who are, not young anymore, and this is their first ever hockey game. So they get to check that off the bucket list, and I think they're going to have a lot of fun tonight. They're not so sure about the fighting, so we'll see. Maybe that's kind of the best part, Mom, but we'll see how they go.
I don't know. Maybe after a couple of fights, your mom's going to be pounding on the glass like, why didn't I do this sooner?
Exactly.
It's such a great place to let your aggression
let it go.
out. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Now, how did I get talked into shooting the puck, and you just get to sit there and watch me do it?
Well, they told me that I'm doing it too.
Oh, you're doing it
I'm
too?
doing it with you.
Oh,
and I've also been scared into
right.
submission that you will get booed if it's short. So
Yes.
all I care about is that
We just gotta make
it's
it.
there. It's
Do
got
we
to
get
get
to
there.
practice? Can we practice? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Man,
Yeah.
we got to.
It's gonna be good.
Patch has played hockey, so
You have practice.
I've done it before. I couldn't practice this week. It was busy week. We tore up our dining room the last time I did it, practicing with a foam puck from the Indy Fuel,
Yes.
shooting it down.
Yes.
And the dining room wall was so scuffed up, but I made it down and didn't get booed.
Hey, nice.
I didn't score. But I didn't get
But that's
booed,
a score in
so-
and of itself, so that's a win. Yeah.
All right. I'm so glad that we're doing this
Yes,
together.
let's do it.
Okay.
Come
all
on.
right, man. Here we go. Drew Powell, thank you so much for being here with us. It's KJ today at the Indy Fuel game. Thanks for joining us for another celebrity interview. Of course, the KJ Today Show isn't just about talking to celebs, it's about hanging out with you. Join us live on Wednesday nights for pop culture, people to know, and pets. The KJ Today Show on YouTube. Subscribe and watch live Wednesday nights at 7.